It's Janet here from World Without Wine, talking to you from a very rainy Cape Town. Why don't you pop your location in the comments box? It's always interesting to see where people are from. So on Tuesday we start our third annual Sober Spring Challenge. We've got about 50 people signed up. They're already chatting away on WhatsApp. It's going to be a blast this year. So really looking forward to that. If you haven't yet signed up, then please just pop over to worldwithoutwine.com and have a read about it. This morning, I want to talk to you really about health benefits of doing the Sober Spring Challenge. Because if you're asking yourself, say you've been drinking for years, like I was, and you may be asking yourself, is it really worth it? You know, is it worth taking this time off the booze? It's going to be tough, and will there be any real benefits, any real paybacks? Well, the answer to that question is a big fat yes. There's going to be plenty of benefits. So I've jotted down just 8 this morning that came to the top of my head. I could probably manage 20, but I'm going to take you through 8. So let's get started. I'm just looking at the comments box quickly. Wow, someone's watching from Scotland. How awesome. Hello, Tina. And good morning, Lynette, my faithful colleague there. And Gigi, what a fabulous name, Gigi. Are you French? I've got a French husband, but we won't talk about that this morning. Okay, so 8 benefits. Let's start with sleep. Sleep. It's always good to get some sleep, isn't it? The thing about drinking and sleep is that if you're drinking wine every evening, then sure, it makes you sleepy and you get off to sleep all right. But how many times do you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m? That's when the alcohol's leaving your body, you feel anxious, and sometimes it's really hard to get back to sleep again. So there's that problem. And then there's the REM. I'm sure you know about REM sleep. That's the deep restorative sleep. Now we need about 7 cycles of that every night. But the thing is, if you're drinking, you'll only get about 2 cycles. So again, if you've been drinking for years, the fatigue will build up, and you'll never really feel refreshed. So the thing about doing this Sober Spring Challenge is that you may, at the beginning, it might be a bit tricky getting off to sleep, I grant you that, but my recommendation would be to read some quick lit. There's some amazing books out there, and don't resort to sleeping pills, just read until you get to sleep. But your pattern will normalise within a few weeks, and by the end of the Sober Spring Challenge, you'll be sleeping like a baby, and you'll be feeling more rested than you have for years. And one thing I'd like to mention about REM sleep, it's quite a funny thing, but because REM sleep is when you dream, lots of people, I didn't actually have them, but loads of people had drinking dreams, and they put on our WhatsApp groups in the morning, oh my God, last night I dreamt that I got completely wasted in some bar and I was staggering around the streets and what's going on, and they were so excited and relieved when they woke up the next morning and they were fine and they hadn't been drinking at all and they were still, 3 months sober or whatever they were. So that's quite funny, so look out for those drinking dreams, and do tell us all about them in either the Sober Spring WhatsApp group or the Zoom cafe, because it's really fun to hear about those. So let's look at number 2. What was that? Oh, the liver. How can we leave out the liver? We all know that drinking is terrible for our livers. Where shall I start? Well, there's the 3 stages of liver disease, of course. There's the fatty liver. That can be because of a bad diet as well. The alcohol's also implicated in that. And then you get scarring on the liver, and then cirrhosis, which we all know is extremely bad news. So if you do Sober Spring Challenge, your drinkers are already likely to have scarring on their livers. But if you stop drinking for 2 months, then that scarring will not progress. It will stay as it is. Our livers can function perfectly well with scarring, but you must be careful that you don't get more and more and it ends up cirrhotic. But the great thing about the liver is it really repairs itself quickly. And there was an amazing experiment they did at the New Scientist magazine. I'm just checking where it was. Yeah, the New Scientist magazine in London. And they put their 20 journalists through dry January. And these guys, they trotted off to the Royal Free Hospital and they had a liver stiffness test on day one. They had another one after 2 months. Sorry, after 1 month, it was dry January. And their liver stiffness had decreased by a massive 15%. And the professor that did these tests, I mean, you can read about this on Google, it's a proper research. The professor said that the results were staggering. He had no other words to describe this. So I'm just trying to convey to you the speed with which our wonderful and amazing bodies heal once we stop pouring ethanol on them, you know, on a daily basis. Remember, ethanol is what they put in petrol, they put it in rocket fuel, and we drink it, you know? How crazy is that? Number 3, cancer. How can we leave out cancer? I had breast cancer back in 2006. Now, in those days, the link between breast cancer and alcohol wasn't really out there in the public domain. When I was diagnosed, I didn't give it a second thought, frankly, even though in those days I was definitely drinking a bottle of wine a day. I just thought, oh, I'm unlucky, you know, woe is me. And in fact, I thought, I'm so afraid of dying now that I need my wine more than ever. But these days, you know, that link has been proven, and they say that for a woman, drinking 3 glasses of wine a week, not a night, a week, will increase your risk of breast cancer by 15%. And then after that, the more that you drink, it increases exponentially. So that is scary stuff, you know. And it's not just the breast cancer. Alcohol is linked to 7 different types of cancer. And interestingly, those cancers form at the parts that the alcohol is touching as you drink it. There's a wonderful slide that we'll be showing at our workshop this afternoon. And it's got the picture of a lady drinking a beer out of a bottle, and down her throat is a snake. And that's like the toxin, the alcohol. Because you're prone to get cancer of the mouth, of the throat, of the esophagus, of the gullet, you know, all the places that alcohol, that the ethanol touches as it goes down the stomach as well, and the gut, etc. So 7 different types of cancer. And in fact, alcohol is related to 60 different diseases, but we don't have time to go there this morning. But suffice it to say that your risk of all those ailments will reduce during 2 months. Where are we now? Yes, the guts. Well, we hear a lot about the gut these days, don't we? And the thing is, alcohol can lead to leaky gut syndrome, and this will lead to inflammation, and if your body is in a chronic state of inflammation, then it's prone to all sorts of diseases. And the immune system, especially in these days of COVID, you know, if there's one thing we want to keep strong, it's our immune system. But did you know that your body treats alcohol as if it was a disease? So when you're drinking, your immune system gets all fired up, and it's like, oh no, it's this disease again. We've got to fight it. We've got to keep our person well. And that's really the last thing that you want. You need your immune system to be focused on protecting you from this virus at the moment. So if you take away the alcohol, then the immune system's got more chance of doing its job properly and keeping you healthy during these kind of rather scary times. In fact, there's a podcast that I did with Dr. Judy, and Dr. Judy explained the fascinating world of the cytokine storm. So basically, say you're drinking a bottle of wine a night, and then you're unfortunate enough to contract COVID-19, then your immune system goes crazy. It's trying to fight the alcohol, it's trying to fight the COVID, and it creates what's called a cytokine storm. And the people that have been admitted to ICU, you know, in hospitals, there's so much data on those people now because it's been going on for months, this thing. Those people have very likely got cytokine storm situation going on, and those are the people that are most likely to end up in ICU and on a ventilator. So don't drink during this risky period. Let's Sober Spring, it's a brilliant period just to strengthen the immune system and keep ourselves healthy. Hydration. Did you know that when you drink a glass of wine, say one of those big glasses of wine I used to love, you actually lose 4 times that much in fluid in your body, because alcohol is a diuretic. And that's not good, because we need to be hydrated, because it keeps our brain function going, it keeps our mood stable, it enables us to concentrate, it gives us more energy. And most importantly for us ladies, it helps our skin look good. So you don't want a dry, shriveled up looking skin, do you? In fact, there's a famous New York dermatologist that once said, if you want to age your skin quickly, then drink wine and sit in the sun. And I used to do a lot of that. In fact, I envisaged that my retirement would involve sitting in the sun drinking wine, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. Number 7, weight. We can't leave out weight, can we? And going back to COVID, sorry, but it's on my mind a lot these days. It's probably on everybody's mind. I was reading my newspaper, my English paper online this morning that I still read, even though I've been here in South Africa for nearly 20 years, but you have to keep your eye on what's going on back there. And there's some research come out now that says that overweight people are not only more likely to contract COVID, but their chances of survival are lower than people with a decent BMI. And that's pretty scary stuff. So the weight. Okay, well, you've got your calories in wine, of course. There's a teaspoon of sugar in every glass of wine. And I was quite surprised when I discovered this, because I was one of those people that was always dieting, but I would not include wine in my restrictions at all. But they say, imagine a glass of wine is like a piece of cake. So I would never sit on the sofa of an evening and eat 6 slices of cake. It just wasn't my thing. But I would quite easily drink, a bottle of wine. So remember, it's got loads of calories in it. But also, it makes you want a snack. I would always want crisps or nuts or something to go with my wine, because all your diet rules kind of go out the window after you've had a few glasses of wine. And then, of course, there's the next morning when you've got the hangover. I mean, being a Brit, in my case, it was bacon sandwiches that used to hit the spot. But, you're going to want fatty food, and you're not really want to care about the calories in it, because you'll feel so crap because you've got your hangover. So all those things add up. And then, as if that's not enough, your body won't actually burn up calories until it's got rid of the alcohol, because your body is so clever, much more cleverer than you are pouring ethanol down your throat. Your body thinks, okay, we've got to get rid of this alcohol first, because we've got to keep her alive. We don't care if she puts on weight, but we need to keep her alive. So let's put all our energy into getting rid of this toxin, and then maybe we'll burn some calories afterwards. So think about that. If you go out for a big meal in the evening with wine, that's probably the worst thing you can do for your weight. But your body is going to focus on getting rid of that wine before it even starts attacking your big meal that you've had. Okay, so now we're at the last one, number 8, mental health. Now, if you drink to alleviate anxiety and depression, you'll end up doing the opposite. Drinking alcohol is like pouring gasoline on your anxiety. And I've been coaching a lady recently, and she came to a workshop, and then she had some coaching, and now she's about 6 months alcohol free. And she told me that her anxiety is just gone, and she feels amazing. And she'd been in therapy for years, not months, years. about her anxiety. And she said she was always too embarrassed to tell the therapist that she drank a bottle of wine every night. The therapist never asked her about her alcohol. So it was like the elephant in the room, but nobody ever mentioned it. So 6 months down the line, alcohol-free, no anxiety, she's tapered off her meds, she doesn't go to therapy anymore, and she feels on top of the world. So that's just one example of how anxiety lifts. And still on mental health and the brain, as you progress through this challenge, new neurons are going to be formed. You're building a neural pathway around alcohol-free behaviours. So I like to think of that as my kind of sober pathway. Because imagine for the next 66 days, you get home and you don't open a bottle of wine, but you grab an alcohol-free drink. Maybe you open an alcohol-free bottle of wine, whatever, but stay away from the booze. Drink something else, or if you're energetic type, maybe go for a run, but just do something else, and you'll build a new neural pathway. So after 2 months of doing that, you're not going to come home and open a bottle of wine before you've even thought about it, because it's not an automatic behavior anymore. So that's pretty exciting stuff. So let me recap the 8 things. Number 1, sleep. After your Sober Spring challenge, towards the end, you'll be sleeping like a baby. Liver, the improvements in your liver are going to be dramatic. You can if you want to prove it, you can have a liver stiffness test now. You can go to an ultrasound. I think there's a Mediclinic in Constantia that do it. You'll find somewhere to do that, and then have another one at the end. Cancer, you'll be reducing your cancer risk dramatically. You'll also reduce risk of stroke and heart disease because your blood pressure will reduce. Again, that's something. Pop into the chemist, have your blood pressure done, have it again at the end of your 2 months. Hydration, I mentioned the skin. Again, take a selfie today and then take one at the end of the challenge, and make sure that you post that. The weight, of course, you should lose a couple of kilos at the end of the challenge. I have to be honest here, not everybody does. For some people, me included, it takes longer, because I think if you've been drinking for years, your metabolism is messed up, so your metabolism has to normalize. In my case, nothing happened for about 6 months, and then suddenly in about a week, I lost the 2 extra kgs that I've been carrying for decades. So be patient with the weight thing, but it will be getting there. And the mental health, you should be feeling much less anxious. And that's why it's great to journal throughout this 66 days. Write down what's going on, how anxious you're feeling maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, and you'll see it'll reduce. It won't happen overnight, but 2 months, just over 2 months, isn't it? It's a significant amount of time, and you will see real differences. And just to end up, probably been talking far too long, 17 minutes. Just to end up, those of you that know Claire Pooley's Bunny blog, you'll have to bear with me, but anyone that hasn't read this must know about this, because it's just amazing. Claire Pooley is the author of Sober Diaries, and she did a blog that went viral, and it's called The Bunny Blog. And in her blog, she does an analogy of sobriety. And she says that alcohol-free life, sobriety, is like a bunny field. It's a sunlit, beautiful field with flowers and fluffy bunnies leaping around everywhere, and it's just the most awesome place. But the snag is, to get there, you have to cross lots of horrible muddy fields in the pouring rain. You have to climb over big fences, and it's really, really difficult. Consequently, many people give up and they never get to the bunny field. So, of course, what she's getting at is that many of us, me included, over the years, we try to ditch the drink, and we might manage 2 days or a week. I think the longest I ever managed was a month. I used to do dry January, but just, gritting my teeth. The thing is, if you keep going, power through it, do those 2 months, then you'll start to experience just how good it is. Doing Sober Spring will get you to the bunny field. And the reason why when you keep giving up, it just doesn't work. It's because your subconscious is registering, it's saying to itself, oh God, she's doing that sobriety thing, we're going to be miserable now, or oh God, she's ditching the drink again, how miserable is this? But if you can power through and keep going, then your subconscious will accept that, wow, this is a nice place we're in, and it'll support you to help you stay there. Because of course, giving up drinking means that you've got a war going on between your conscious mind, which knows you have to stop, and your subconscious, which is going, but what about those parties, and how are we going to relax in the evening, and what about my anxiety, how do I numb that? So you've got this war going on, but power through Sober Spring and you're much likely to calm those voices in your head and enjoy your life and appreciate the many benefits, but that's for another talk. So I've done my 8 things. I just wanted to say, to finish off, Sober Spring can kickstart your health, freshen your looks, and give you a new sense of purpose. So that's all for me. I'm going to look at these comments now. So I said hi to Tina, who's in Scotland, and Gigi. You haven't told me if you're French yet. You have to be with a name like that. And of course, my lovely Lynette is there. Vanessa, hi Vanessa. And Irene, now I think Irene is one of our new Sober Springers, so welcome to you, Irene. Looking forward to getting to know you better. Carlin, blamed the menopause. Yeah, turns out it was the wine. She sleeps like a log now. Carlin is a member, and she wrote a beautiful WhatsApp message recently, which inspired us a lot. And I don't know if she knew about Sober Spring, the length of it, but when she hit 66 days, she felt awesome, and she wrote about all the benefits she was experiencing. So Carlin is going to come to our Zoom cafe that we open every week for members tomorrow, and she's going to talk about those 66 days. So any of you watching this that are on Sober Spring, I did put the Zoom link on our Sober Spring WhatsApp group, so just pop in and have a listen to Carlin, and that's a nice way to start, because you need to get yourself motivated, get yourself in the right frame of mind. Monica, hi Monica, she's enjoying her sober sleep. Natalie as well, oh wow, Natalie's feeling like an Energizer bunny, I like that, hopping all over the place, well done Natalie. Lynette, she used to battle with sleep, to read, just read, and there's so many quick lit books around, and you'll find when you read, that your mind will be working on that information. And also on Sober Spring, I'm doing 66 little mini podcasts for you. I mean, I'm telling you, it's such a mission recording all of these, so please have listen to them. But what I do, it's only about 5 minutes per time, and what I'm going to do is talk to you about the healing that's taking place in your body. I'm going to read out the Daily Mail, and if you listen to those before you go to sleep, then again, your subconscious mind will be processing that information. Blaming the menopause for everything. Yep. Weight loss, good. So Tina had weight loss once she cut down on sugar. Inflammation markers were through the roof. My integrative doctor warned me that I was high risk for getting cancer. Thank goodness my inflammation markers are way down. Yeah, I lived in France for a while, and I used to they give you blood tests a lot there if you go to the doctors. And my doctor was always saying, oh, your inflammation is very high, I wonder what it is. And she never asked me if I drank, and I never told her that I drank, but obviously it was the wine, sending my inflammation markers through the roof. Gut health, yes. Oh, Marlene, hi Marlene. Lovely you've just tuned in. Okay, Marlene, well, this thing gets recorded, doesn't it? So you can watch it all again if you want to. Carlin went for a facial. Ooh, the therapist said, your skin is so nice, it must be my new product. If only they knew. Yeah, I mean, when you think we spend so much on beauty, don't we? And if there's one thing that will improve our looks, freshen up our looks, it's ditch the booze. And if you're any doubt about that, go on our website and you'll find somewhere there, Nicola, she's called. She took a selfie at the workshop, then she took another one after 100 days of sobriety, and the difference is amazing. So yeah, all you Sober Springers, take a selfie today, and then we'll have another one in 66 days. Oh, Anne-Marie. Hi, Anne-Marie. Completely changed your life. Oh, yeah, that's so wonderful to hear that. Honestly, a lot of people have done Sober Spring and it's changed. You know, that's why we're doing a series of podcasts now with those people. There's one out at 10 o'clock this morning, Christelle. Yeah, Lynette's creating new sober pathway. Yes, sobriety is a superpower. Lynette and I are quite fond of that one. Become curious. Yeah, Lynette says that a lot, and now Carlin says it as well. Yeah, treat your 66 days as an experiment. Be curious. You know, I think one of my emails says, be a scientist in your own life. You know, get a white coat if you need to, but you know, just log what's going on every day. And in fact, signed up for Sober Spring, we have a scientist, a member from South Africa who's now moved to Netherlands, and she literally is a scientist. And in fact, she wrote a blog for us about what vitamins and stuff to take when you stop drinking. And I'll post that on the Sober Spring WhatsApp group. But she's there, so you can ask her questions. She's called Janice. I'm sure she won't mind me revealing her identity. Mental health, yes, Lynette, Carlin, get to the bunny field, big help with connection. Yeah, I mean, they say connection is the opposite of addiction. I can't tell you how long I resisted doing this sort of thing and doing the Zoom workshops and whatever. But I've realised, you know, in this, the state the world's in and this online stuff, you know, it's the best we're going to get. So we've really got to push ourselves and do it. And now I'm okay. I'm kind of getting over it. I don't have a sleepless night before every Facebook Live anymore, especially as I share the burden with Lynette. So yeah, Irene says, yes, Lynette, yes. Wow, thanks for all this interaction. It's lovely to see it. Yes, a labour of love, 66 mini podcasts. Wow, I've got 40 recorded. I've got 6 loaded, but it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get them done, but they will be done in time. So I've already put the first one on the WhatsApp group for Sober Springers. So listen to that and then subscribe. It's on Apple Podcasts, and then one will arrive like magic in your phone every day. So I hope you like them. Carlin, see you all tomorrow. Yes, that's our speaker for the Zoom talk tomorrow. Okay, so that was awesome, guys. Thank you so much for the interaction there. It makes it a lot less lonely. So I'm going to say goodbye now. Have an awesome Saturday, and I look forward to seeing a couple of you at the workshop this afternoon. There's still time to book yourself in if you want to, so just get in touch. Bye.